Do you have any?
No audio. Sairam. So Sandeep asked me yesterday to last Sunday to do a session on 9 gems, and I put something together. It's got some interesting twists that Swami has made. So if you all know all of this, then it's a revision. So please pardon me. So when we say gems, what comes to your mind? Sandari, what comes to your mind when I say gem? Diamond, right? What are the gems? Name one. Rubies, emeralds. Good, good. So when we say diamond, what is the most famous diamond you can think of? Somebody gave away the answer already. It's the Kohinoor, right? Well, the most famous world gem in the world is the Kohinoor. And when you say Kohinoor, what's the first thing you want to do? Well, that's true. possibly you first want to see it, right? So let's look at the Kohinoor just for a minute. So that's the Kohinoor diamond. Right? We're talking about gems, so it's good to talk about a physical gem, just to wrap our head around what does a gem really mean. That is the Kohinoor diamond. Where is it? It's actually on Queen Victoria's crown. So I need a helper. Can somebody read for me, please? Can you take the phone and just microphone and read for me?
Kohinoor. Ownership last changed in 1839 as the British took possessions of the Punjab. The diamond was taken on to London and presented to Queen Victoria. After her death, it was set into the crown, worn by the consort of the monarch of the UK, and can be seen today as part of the crown jewels. Kate Middleton is next in line to wear it.
Good. So we just had a slight sidebar about real gems. But so now the question is, have you seen the 9 gems of Swami? How many of you have actually seen the 9 gems that we're talking about? Yes. What are those 9 gems? 9 gems of Swami. What are they? Correct. But what exactly are they? Where did they come from? They came from Satyasai Speaks. Have you seen them? Okay, so what we'll do is just see those 9 gems exactly the way Swami wrote them. Just so, and you can go to that website and find those. So that's gem 1. That's the actual letter, right? And this is what we're going to study today. Well, I just somehow felt that it's important to actually see exactly what Swami had written, right? So we'll dive into it. I'm just going to flip through the 9 gems just for you to get a visual. Just so that's gem 1, 2, right? This is written in 73. That's 73. I think why I don't know why they made it 75. If I look at it, it's 73. This one's written in 75, gem 3, right? Gem 4. And that is, I believe, Swami's own handwriting, right? So it's him writing this gem 4. Gem 5, right? 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we've now seen all of the 9 gems. It's now just a matter of understanding what's in those 9 gems. That's left as part of this and other study circles. So these are the 9 gems, right? So we'll just Swagatika, you'll just read out each one just for a minute so we hear what those are.
First one is within you is the real happiness. Second, spiritual hunger. Third one, Truth alone is one's real friend and relative. Fourth, man is God. Fifth, life without goodness is not real life. Sixth, assert your Godhead. Seventh, the whole universe is a mere dream. Eighth, God is always with you. 9. Take refuge in Sai.
Thank you very much. Right. So those are the 9 gems. These are titles given by the Satya Sai org. They're not actually what Swami wrote as the title of the letter. It is something that the Satya Sai org has put as the title of the letter. So I was inspired to do something unusual with the 9 gems. So pardon me if something doesn't work here. So these are all words, right? So I did something interesting. I ran text analytics on the 9 gems, right? For those. So one of you, can you read that for me, please? What's there? Swagatika, maybe you do.
Text analytics is the automated process of translating large volumes of unstructured text into quantitative data to uncover insights, trends, and patterns. Combined with data visualization tools, this technique enables companies to understand the story behind the numbers and make better decisions.
So this is what I do for a living. I believe this is what somebody does for a living too. So it's an interesting exercise. So this is how I did it. So these are the 9 gems. So I basically took all of the words from the documents and I put it into 2 different services. One is called wordcloud.com and the other is called a word counter. Right? These basically take the English words and they analyze it in different ways and they produce interesting things. So I have 2 word clouds. The intent here is just to cast a different perspective on it, right? So you can look at it from a different lens. So a word cloud, Swagatika, could you read that for me, please?
A word cloud is a collection or cluster of words depicted in different sizes. The bigger and bolder the word appears, the more often it's mentioned within a given text and the more important it is.
Right. So we'll look at a word cloud here for Swami's 9 gems. So all the words in Swami's 9 gems taken together. So these are the words. So I would just want you to look at that and absorb what stands out for you. Right? Just stare at it and see what one. I want you to remember one word from this cloud, 2 words from this cloud, whatever sticks to your mind.
Sairam, can you please show us the screen? Because we're not able to see the word clouds.
No? Okay. So hold on. Hold on. We're going to try and reshare the screen. Hit escape. Oh, you have to click on that. Yes. And hit share on the right side. One more back. Yeah, there you go. Can you see it?
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So these are the words and the sizes. They are what's in those in the 9 gems. Right. So view, and I did one more. You can do different resolutions, right, which gives you a little broader perspective. And I just want you all to just absorb whatever sticks to you, and we'll come back to it later. So these are word clouds. So the next thing I did was actually run it through word counter, right? So word counter actually counts how many words there are. So in the 9 gems, there are 1,494 words and 8,000 characters, right? There are 600 unique words, right? 600 unique words. And what is interesting is I want you to focus on this, right? These are keyword frequencies. So they basically look at how many times a particular word occurred within the 1,494 words that are in the 9 gems. And I'll ask Swagatika to just read out the list of words. And can you read the number right next to it if you can? Is it visible? Okay, fine. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a little blurred. The first word is all. The second one is God. The third one is mind. The fourth one is life, within, self, happiness, world, psi, and body, right? And that's the frequency. The first word, all, occurs 14 times, and it's the highest frequency of words occurring within the 9 gems. Right? What do you conclude from that? What does that mean? I'll ask Shiv for his comments, and then we'll go around. What do you make of the words that are in the 9 gems? Does anything stand out to you? Sure.
I mean, if I had to go back to the word cloud that you presented, Arun, and kind of this frequency here, what occurs to me is the consistency between the two. Yeah, that the word cloud representation is fair. But what also struck out to me is it was the visual aspect of things that captured. You asked us to keep 2 or 3 things in mind based on the other one. So the ones that stayed in mind for me were happiness, God, and self. Yeah.
Okay.
And it resonates that it comes back in here for now.
Sairam. Sure. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Sairam, anyone from online, if you can share your thoughts, please.
Go ahead.
Sairam? Okay, to me, Arun, what I look at it as, it is very interesting take on looking at this whole 9 gems. I'm very excited. For me, what it says, like it's all encompassing, like it's all is the maximum thing. That means I feel like, you know, this affects every single person on this earth. So I don't know why that stood out for me, that it's important for all.
Very good.
All God.
Okay, good. Very interesting. Kusuma says all God. That's what she gets from this.
Sairam, to me also, all God and within.
Okay.
Those are the 3 words that stay with me.
Very good.
I think to me, it is happiness is God.
Happiness.
All happiness dwells within God.
Thank you.
And within the self.
Sairam. Happiness is God. That's what strikes me.
Sairam. Anything you want to add?
What I find is the stress is on the first word, all. These gems are applicable universally. Okay, it is not specific to one person or anything, it is to everybody. And it is about God and mind in that order. So they are truly gems of highest order. Sarah.
Sarah. Anything you want to add?
For me, all is the important one. It means that Purnam, like God, Purnamidam, Purnamadaha. So I mean that is complete, full.
Okay. Thank you very much. So this is what I took away from this all, right? Shiv, you want to add something?
My own observation here is that all 9 are equally important, even though the percentages here are different. But to make the whole, all 9 are important to constitute the whole.
Thank you. Thank you. Very interesting. So this is just what all to me meant all people, right? All samashti, which is the aggregate, right? That all, God is in all, right? Is a way to think about it. So it's just interesting. There's no particular conclusion I'm trying to draw. It's just for each one to absorb it and make their own conclusion. Right? So let's move on. So that was the text analytics on the 9 gems, right? So we can claim that we've actually been super smart in the Sai Center with this. So Shiv, somebody with the mic, can you read this, please? This is the first gem.
You as body, mind, or soul are a dream, but what you really are is existence, knowledge, bliss. You are the God of the universe. You are creating the whole universe and drawing it in. To gain the infinite universal individually, the miserable little prison individuality must go. Bhakti is no crying or any negative condition. It is seeing of all in all we see. It is the heart that reaches the goal, followed the heart, purpose. Heart seeks beyond the intellect. It gets inspired. Whatever we do reacts upon us. If we are good, we shall have happiness, and if evil, unhappiness. Within you is the real happiness. Within you is the mighty ocean of nectar divine. Seek it within you. Feel it. Feel it. It is here the self. It is not the body, the mind, the intellect, the brain. It is not the desire of desiring. It is not the object of desire. Above all these, you are. All these are simply manifestations. You appear as the smiling flower, as the twinkling stars. What is there in the world which can make you desire anything?
Thank you very much, Sushant. So I picked 2 things out of this to anchor our discussion, right? The first one is, it is seeing of all in all we see, right? So we'll do a circle around the first one. And then the second one is, seek it within you, feel it, feel it. It is here, the self. It is not the body, the mind, or the intellect or the brain, right? So these are the 2 things he is actually telling us to do. In the entire letter, if you go look at it, he's giving some background, and then he's saying, it is seeing all in all, right? So we'll start with that. It is seeing all in all we see, right? So we'll do a circle, and I want each of you to answer these 2 questions. What is see all in all mean to you, to each of you, right? And what is your method for seeing all in all? Right? How do you do it? Each one of us has a particular method for doing it. How do you do it is the question. So those are the 2 questions. And we'll start on the Zoom. For folks on the Zoom, please participate. No right or wrong answer here. It's just sharing what comes to your mind. And everybody's Swami speaks through all of us. So don't hold back. Share whatever Swami puts in your mind. So from the Zoom, what does see all in all mean to you? And what is your method for seeing all in all?
Saram, this is Radha. To me, seeing all in all means removing the discriminatory lens through which we tend to filter what we see. So we need to be a little bit more accepting and just see what is in front of us and accept it for what it is. We tend to put filters on, and we tend to use, past experiences and and our own intellect, if you will, to color what we see. So seeing all in all is removing the filters. And the second one, what is the method of seeing all in all? That's still a work in progress for me. Saram.
Sairam, brother. Anybody else online?
For me, see,
That's okay.
all in all is a concept, and the method of seeing that is when we say see all in all is same as saying see God in everything, because God is everything.
Mhm.
And the analogy I would like to use to express my thought is, I want to put it down on a piece of paper and somebody can see or read, then the thought I had gets transferred to them. Same way, seeing the method of seeing all in all is the physical existence of a form or a body or form, and every form is an expression of God that we can see. That is the way I understand.
Sairam, Sairam. Thank you. Shanti, we'll go reverse.
Sairam, seeing God in everything, in the good and the bad, that is what seeing all in all. Because bad does exist, because you could be not part of the thing. When if you stand out, there's good person and there's a next person is trying to put his hand into his pocket and taking money out of it. So both are this one and you're observing. This is God, this is God. So God is stealing God. This is the world. So that is what I'm not able to explain. Why bad things happen. If God is there, everything had to be good. However, it doesn't. So somebody has to answer me that. Sairam.
Sairam. So we need to build a mic carrying robot.
Sairam, so if God is in all, then the method for seeing the good and the bad is to avoid, for me, try to avoid to be judgmental. Because the moment I start judging, that means I'm deciding, is this good or is this bad? Everything, since everything is God's will and God's doing, it's a matter of accepting and not judging.
Sairam, thank you very much.
See, all in all is, I think this is the essence of the letter. This is the gem. Because if we believe in God, then God is somebody. He or she is watching everybody and seeing all in all. So our method has to be, we should reach to that point to be sthita prajna. I'm going to Gita. To be sthita prajna all the time, 24 hours, so that we won't be within us. Then only we can see all in all. Because the moment we are in ourselves with our body and mind, not with the intellect, that time it's not possible to see all in all, because we are acting according to our body and mind. So method is like, I don't know when we will achieve, but that's in with like, I'm thinking the method should be that to be sthita pragya all the time.
Sairam, thank you very much.
Just one more thing, as you were talking, I was thinking to be the Sthita Prajna, I have to be united in my thought, word, and deed.
Sairam, Sairam.
Yeah, as Shanti said, Sairam, it's a very hard thing for me to do, to take everything as God. Because whether I like it or not, the mind comes and just immediately. So honestly, I don't think I can see God in everything. And I try to, the method that I see is, first of all, I have to see God within myself, to see God in everything. So silencing the mind and being an observer kind of helps me to accept things.
Sairam, thank you.
Anyone else online who would like to share their views? We need a lot of participation, please. Okay, so what I thought was I quickly tried to visualize this whole thing, Arun. So what I did was I put all of us in this room like a dots in a thing. And then I said, he's talking about all, where did we all come from? So then I did another circle, and it is this spiritual, like the one as the universe and supreme consciousness. And then we are all fitting into that big all. So constantly, maybe for me to kind of constantly remind myself that pictorial representation that each of us are the specks of that universal consciousness, and we are all a subset of this whole all. So that all in all is constant reminding ourselves that each of us are different expressions of that supreme consciousness at that particular mood, even within even us, right? Like we are not at the same person throughout the day. We express ourselves in different ways, sometimes in the best ways, and sometimes might not be the best possible way. We are all expressing ourselves throughout the day. And if we kind of plot it in the universal thing, if you look at it in this whole Venn diagram that we all are becoming in that one whole giant thing, everybody's expressing themselves of that supreme consciousness in some way or the other. To have that kind of a visualization all the time might help me. It's not there, but maybe this is again, a little bit of a light switch is gone inside. Hopefully that'll help me.
Sairam.
Sairam. So just continuing what you said, yeah, so basically Purnamada, Purnamida, Purnat, Purnamudashit. So we are all part of the one whole. We came from that whole, and at the end of it, we become part of that whole again. So like you said, a big thing, and we are all specks. We came from that big thing and we are going to merge back. So that's all in all. But more importantly, Kasturi Garu in his book, The Loving God, right? He says there are Panchabhutas, Panchendriyas, these things you can control by mantra, tantra. So he gives examples of dance and singing, and it rains. But the 16th thing is the whole and soul property of Godhood, which I think Swami showed us, is identifying yourself with every atom of this universe. And I remember one of the interviews where he told us that, when you can feel the pain of the other person, when you can, and this was because we were sitting and somebody complained that, my sister complained. And so he was just trying to, the whole thing is, you have to see yourself in the other person and the other person. So we are all essentially the same thing, part of all. Now, what is the method of seeing all in all? I think getting over the vices once you start slowly, controlling your mind and getting rid of your anger and the other 6 vices, kama, krodha, lobha, I think at that point you'll slowly start realizing that, and once, am I trying? Yes, I'm trying. Am I succeeding? No, it's still a work in progress. But all in all, I think that's what Swami taught us. When that's why he used to tell us that, Jesus Christ, any of these prophets that you take, they were able to, because they saw themselves in others and others in themselves. So this is what I kind of see what seeing all in all is.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam, I guess I'd like to say I'd like an answer to Shanti Auntie's question, because it is one that my kids often ask me, and one that I have not been able to give a convincing answer to. So if anybody can propound an answer for that, that would be fantastic. But then I looked at your questions in there, and I reflected back to seeing my children when they were first born, right? They had absolutely no biases. Anybody could pick them up and they'd be happy as long as they were cradled and held in a comfortable manner. The ability to differentiate came from perspectives, from biases and impressions that were created on them. And I think that's how we have evolved in our lives. So if I say, what is the method for seeing all in all, it is to go beyond the impressions that we have created in ourselves and to try and go back to that fundamental that we were all born with. That for me would be powerful. Is it there yet? No, but is that what I see as the method? Yes. And from a practical perspective, for me, seeing all in all comes from seva. When I see somebody in need of help, if I can help them, I don't question, have they done something for me before? Because lots of people have helped me, and my helping somebody is because I'm repaying the debt that I owe to somebody else, and therefore I help out. So that is my method in making it practical, Sairam. But Arun, I would love for you to answer Shanti Auntie's question, if you can, when the mic comes back.
Sairam.
Sairam, for me, seeing all in all goes back to our precept on Aham Brahmasmi. Everything is Brahma and everything has come out of Brahma. Everything belongs to Brahma. So in Shirdi Sai Satcharita, as Shirdi Baba says, the difference between God and you is the unrivaled capacity of the God to know that he is God, whereas for us, it is all the sanskaras and maya that comes in between us and realizing ourselves as God. So the years of bad sanskaras that goes with us from one birth to the other, and our ability to increase that or reduce that through our good karmas, and our ability to do self-realization and looking at ourselves as God and doing all the right things is a journey. So it's not overnight. It's not going to happen. There is no one method, and it's an ongoing journey. So it's only a process and a progress that we can seek to achieve than trying to say that one fine day I will be God. So everything that we are doing, learning, studying, sharing, is all towards that purpose, and more we internalize and try to implement it, faster will be our journey. Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam. Go ahead, Shushan.
Sairam, we all all kind of agreed that seeing all in all means seeing God everywhere, including yourself. But we, and also we agreed that there are multiple methods, and all the methods want to work in everyone. Everybody has their own unique method. The method works for me came from a book where he told me to first find out the people who you love and try to see God in them. Then try to find out the people you hate, see God in them. Automatically you'll find God in yourself. I'm trying, yes. I'm succeeding, absolutely not. But still I'm trying, Sairam.
Sairam, thank you very much. So see all in all, connected back to the last time's study circle, which is there is knowledge, and first you have to have knowledge of something, and then you can act on it. Right? That's what was last time's study circle. So the knowledge is first to accept, or to, in some cases, just assume, believe that there is God in all. Right? We have to make that a firm commitment to ourselves, that we're not going to debate that, or it's not a convenience thing. Can't say there's no God in Trump, right? Doesn't matter what your opinion is of a person or an event, right? So you can't say there's no God in the person who was in Minneapolis, the police officer. Well, so that is the first exercise, to accept that God is in all, or all is in all, however you think about it. And once you do that, then there are many different methods. Like as Sushant was saying, there's a visualization method. You can say, I'm going to visualize the person I love most, and I'm going to see God in them. I'm going to visualize the person I detest the most or hate the most, and I'm going to see God in them. So they work. So there are 2 or 3 Sanskrit slokas that come to mind when you say see all in all. There's one which says Ishavasyam idham jagat, right? That Ishavasyam idham jagat, that the world as it is now is suffused with Brahman, God, everything, all, right? Now here is God. There is no in Puttaparthi, in Jerusalem, whatever. Here now, right? Idham, now, right? So that's one statement, to always say, well, there is no God over there, here, in the picture, now here, all the time, right? That is assertion that helps in that. The other one is Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. It comes in the Shivopasana mantra, right? So that Ishvara is in every bhuta. Bhuta is every being. Right? So first, when you accept that piece of knowledge, then the action will flow from it. So our challenge, my challenge happens to be in clearly accepting that piece of knowledge and holding that constantly in your mind through all things. Right? And what I've done in many cases, my method has been, especially in physical meetings we used to be in during pre-pandemic. There's a meeting going on, there's some intense topic being discussed, and Swami would sometimes give me the awareness to close my eyes and mentally bow down to each person who's in the room, right, as being a manifestation of Swami. So it actually takes away a lot of your ego that is that's in play during many intense situations. That was my method. So there's one more. Sorry.
This goes back when we were students in middle school, high school, and things like that. Whenever we thought of 1945 and Hitler, we spit on the ground, because we literally did it. It's not that I'm just making it up, because we said the most evil man. How could you see God in him? Even till today, I'm not able to see it. I've been to Germany, I've been to Jerusalem. I cannot understand. See God there.
Sairam. So that's a very present question to all of us. The question of why does evil exist, right? Why is there good and bad if there is God? Couple of things here. Part of it is the words. Good and bad are English words. It's preferable to use the word Shreyo Karma and Preyo Karma. Shreyas and Preyas. These are the 2 Sanskrit equivalents. Shreyas is that which leads to our spiritual upliftment. Preyas is that which binds us. That which binds us to the worldly. The 2 kinds of actions, right? So usually this is I don't have an answer, so I'm just going to give you my perspective. So question is between you and your kid, right? So, your kid wants to play video games, right? He's already played for an hour and he insists that he wants to do it for an extra hour, right? And you put your foot down, you turn off the video game, you send him to the room packing, and he's going to be super upset, right? And at that moment, it's not surprising if the kid feels like you're the personification of evil, right? That it happened to me. Sometimes when your parents do something, you get so wrapped up in that one particular thing that you actually think of your parents as being personification of evil, right? Now, if I were to ask you the question, where are you doing something evil in that point of time? What would you say? Why? Sorry, could you repeat, please?
So in answer to your question, I would say no, that I was not doing bad for him or evil for him, because from my perspective, it was the right thing to do, to not focus too much on that while there were other things to be done for his overall growth.
Right.
Sairam.
Sairam. So let me ask another question, right? So I'm sure I've had these experiences about my own parents, that you have many places when you were a kid where you felt like, man, these people are completely evil. They are not letting me do things. But now that you are well past that stage, what do you feel about things where you might have had an objection to what your parents did?
I bow down to them again and again for having put up with me.
And for actually having done those things you perceived as evil.
I would not classify them as evil.
I know.
Right?
Bad.
So
good,
I
whatever.
think evil is at least in our definition of the English language, it's an extreme. As Shanti Aunty was saying, Hitler's actions were an extreme, and that we consider evil. What our parents were doing to us was unpleasant, right? Unacceptable.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So, but what do you feel about things that were unpleasant when you were a kid? What do you feel about that now?
Certainly, in retrospect, being put in the same place as my parents were, I felt that they have done a much better job handling me than I am doing with my kids.
In many cases, you're thankful to them for
Absolutely.
having done
Yes.
what you felt was unpleasant,
Yes.
right? So I don't know why evil exists in the world or what is evil, right? This is a good analogy. So if we think of God and Swami as our parent, then he's going to make us do things, or he's going to put us through things which at the time may seem rather unpleasant, right? So part of what also helps is if we only apply that thinking to ourselves, if we look within and wherever it is really bothering us, so you can apply the same rule and you can look at it as at different spans of time. So because in Swami's eyes, his span of time is infinite. So what may be good for us or what we may feel pleasant about or unpleasant about, the universal view may be something very, very different. So this is my best thought on the question that Shanti asked as to why is there
Even another answer?
Sure.
I'm just trying. Hitler was bad. For us in our generation, Osama bin Laden also bad from our point of view. But if you ask one of his 3 wives, they will tell that he was full of compassion. So it's basically the point of view. Fortunately, the answer might be over here. Can I scroll the slide? One of the gems. Number 7, the whole universe is a mere dream. It's all creation. The evil is creation of God. Once we understand the whole thing is a dream, I think we don't feel anything is good or the bad. Everything is a play, and we are just part of that game. Sairam.
it brings out the best in other people too. It elevates, it brings more awareness of that as evil. And there's a group of people whose awareness is much more to kind of contribute to the overall goodness, what we can do to be the goodness, to be able to realize that that was evil. And here is what we need to do to kind of go and help out.
Okay, so got it. Yes.
And I'm not trying to answer this question, but the way I see it is, I think we were in one of the interviews when my younger sister complained to Swami that my older brother, who is no more now, he used to beat her. And so Swami told her that, Swami told my brother, no, that's not good. You should see God in her. And once you see Swami in her, you will not do it and stuff like that. So at that point, I can't remember what, maybe 6th grade or so. I asked Swami, if there is God in her, there is also God in him. So the God in him is beating the God in her. So it's between God and God. So why do we care, kind of, very. So that's when Swami explained that there is God in everyone, but there are also these vices, the base qualities like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, and all that, right? Once I think you have more of them, your divinity is completely covered. And so to Auntie's question, yes, somewhere inherently Hitler must be having divinity, but these qualities, these vices or these bad qualities, they had taken, I mean, they were even, I wouldn't say engulfed, or, they were covered him so much that, so that's what happened with, if you take any of these demons, Ravanas, they let these bad qualities or the vices, they control their life. So as they did that, the divinity is completely overshadowed and they are not divine anymore. So one of the things that we should learn, and which Swami always insisted, was, through Namasmarana, sadhana, seva, or whatever, you slowly get rid of these vices. The more the divinity will start showing. And that's what I think is what I learned, and that's what I'm trying to do. Am I successful? No.
Sairam. So Swagatika had a final thought.
So my thought, like my take on it is, everybody is born with something. Already they are decided what to be with all their, they are already what to do. Already it's prepared like for them. So Hitler came to do as he was, but so as Ravana too. Ravana was born to do certain things, but to please Lord Shiva, we are singing Shiva Tandava, which is written by Ravana. Why? To please Shiva. So that is the thing, what they are doing evil, even they have done good things too. So it's our thing what to take on from them, not to judge them who they were, but see God in all that thing as a perspective of Sthita Prajna. We shouldn't judge them, we shouldn't follow them, but what the good things they have done, we should admire them.
Sairam, thank you very much. So we'll close. There's one more question which can be picked up in the next study session. Sairam, thank you very much.
We would like to encourage all the folks online for sure to join in these, participate in the study circle too, because that makes it even richer. So next time, please do join on. Thank you. We'll close with the same.